Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am with another obscure 2000s Disney movie review. And next up, this is going to be a review for Freaky Friday. So, this is a film that, when it first came out, pretty much for the first year after the film's release, it actually was, kind of popular amongst people. I remember people, really, talking about this film and just really saying how they really liked it, and people would, be, watching this film. It was, really, it was, very, amongst a lot of people's discussions for, the first year when it came out. I remember, when I was at school, there were people talking about the movie, and it was a kind of popular amongst the crowds for the first year after its release. But then after that, that's kind of when people just suddenly just stopped talking about the movie, and it really just hardly ever really got mentioned or talked about anymore after this. After that, so it's kind of strange that this film like for its first year it was popular amongst people, but then its popularity just all of a sudden just disappeared, and just people really just stopped talking about the film all of a sudden. Yeah. So so this film it was actually this is another film that was based on a book. Yeah. And apparently Disney actually has made quite a few adaptations of this story. Yeah, I think there's been four films that Disney has done. Um, that's an adaptation of the story. Disney's made four Freaky Friday movies. Yeah, the original Freaky Friday film was released in was it 76 or 77? Yeah. Then Disney made another Freaky Friday movie that was a made-for-TV movie from was it 1995 or something? Yeah, and then they did this movie, which was released in 2003, and then of course just a few years ago there was that Disney Channel movie, Freaky Friday. Yeah, so really, just why does Disney keep on making movies based on this story? Why do they just keep thinking, oh, we got to do it again, we got to do it again? It kind of reminds me of the Jungle Book, because Disney's done multiple adaptations of the Jungle Book over the years as well. So I find it really strange that Disney just keeps on remaking this movie. Yeah. So I haven't actually seen any of the other adaptations. So I'm not really going to be making any comparisons between this film and the other adaptations on what does what better and such. So this isn't going to be a comparison. This is just going to be about this film. Yeah. So so Nostalgia Critic he reviewed both the original film and this film for Disney Summer before. And and he actually did say how he actually likes this one better than the original, because he just feels that just this film with its update in the technology and the culture and everything, how the jokes that are made in this film are a lot funnier, and it just is funnier to really just see you the mother and daughter really be you just take on on the other's persona, and really just adapt their lifestyle. Yeah, and just with it done in just the ways that it is done in this film, it is just really does make it funny. And it is actually pretty funny to see in this film. Yeah. So this was a film that I really didn't actually see that much when it came out. Like I saw the trailer for this film, and when I saw the trailer, I really did pretty much get the idea on what this film really was about. It was really just about a mother and a daughter that they don't get along, but then something happens to them, and then they end up just end up switching bodies magically, and then then just they pretty much have to do something to get everything back to normal. And what it really is just really show their love for each other, and that will set things back to normal. Yeah. So when I saw the trailers for this film, I really did pretty much get the idea that that was really what the film was really going to be about. So since I pretty much knew what it was about, I really just really didn't really feel really watching it that much, since I pretty much knew what the story was going to be. I did watch it a few times. I remember I did catch this film on TV a few times, and even I think I watched it once when like when we watch a movie in school, like this was a movie that was like being shown. So yeah, so I did watch the movie a few times, but it wasn't a film that I really did like watch regularly when it came out. Yeah, but yeah, and looking at it now, like because it's been like quite a while since I have watched the movie until I just watched it to make this review. And watching it now, I gotta say, yeah, it is a pretty good movie. Yeah, yeah. The film stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and as the mother and daughter that end up switching bodies in the movie. And yeah, it is pretty funny to like see them really like take on each other's pers- persona in this movie and really just like adapt to their individual lifestyles. So yeah, it is pretty funny to see. Yeah, and interesting that this film is also actually the second Disney remake to star Lindsay Lohan. Of course, like Lindsay Lohan, like before this, she was actually in the Parent Trap remake, and yeah, and now again she's in another remake here. Yeah, so it's kind of odd to see Lindsay Lohan like be cast in two Disney remakes. Yeah, and both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan do a pretty good job in the movie. Yeah, they do good as both like just their like just their actual characters, like with Jamie Lee Curtis as the mother and Lindsay Lohan as the daughter. Yeah, they do a good job of like portraying their characters and really just like the very strained relationship that the two of them really do have at the start of the movie. And then when they do switch bodies, they do a good job at really taking on each other's personalities. Because yeah, it is like some pretty funny stuff between them. Like it really does like get pretty funny. Like when they do like first like see that they've switched bodies, especially like with like uh, the daughter taking up the mother's body. Yeah, it is pretty. Her reaction to it is pretty funny. Like there's that part where she like looks at herself in the mirror, just like so shocked, and she just screams, "Oh, I'm like the crypt keeper." Yeah, it's pretty funny, and yeah, and just like seeing the two of them really just take on each other's personalities with like the mother like in the daughter's body, like going to like her daughter's school, taking up her personality, and then the daughter like as the and the mother's body taking up her persona, like going to her job and everything. Yeah, it is like a pretty funny, and it really does like it's funny to just like see them like make it like feel so awkward with them like taking on the other's personality and everything, and then just adapting to their lifestyle, and yeah, and just seeing like the stuff between them, it is pretty funny. I mean, especially like with the daughter taking up the mother's personality in her body, yeah, just like a lot of the stuff that she does, it's pretty funny. I really feel that like just this is like something that a lot of like younger kids really do wish could happen to them. Like with them, like in an adult's body, they get to live like an adult lifestyle with like driving cars and really just like buying stuff with whatever they want and just like doing whatever they want. Yeah, and pretty much like they really get to really just like act as the parent towards their actual parent. Yeah, so yeah, adults probably you really wouldn't think too fondly of this with like them being in their child's body, but yeah, with like a kid being like in their own parent's body, yeah, I think that's probably something that a lot of kids really do wish to happen sometimes. Yeah, so I guess like this film really does do that for kids. Yeah, but yeah, and like I said, just both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan do a really good job in the movie. Yeah, they're both like really funny, and they do portray like both personalities really well. Yeah, and everyone else in the movie overall is pretty good. Also, like there's like their other members of the family, like the younger son, and the grandfather, the mother's fiance, and yeah, and just yeah, those other kind of people in the movie, like the daughter's friends and all that other stuff. Yeah, yeah, everything is like pretty good about this movie, and yeah, the jokes, like I said, they are really funny. I really do like how just like with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, they really do like really get to take on each other's personality and everything. Yeah, and I can only imagine like what it must have been like on set to see this like with them pretty much like mocking themselves. I was just like shooting that, like that must have been a blast, and I don't know how many times they really just broke down laughing doing that. Like it just must have been like so hysterical on set with this going on. Yeah, and it's pretty much like the standard story, pretty much like I said, just as the film starts, just they're very dysfunctional amongst each other, with like the daughter really struggling in school, and the mother really also also like being on her very hard too, and the daughter just thinking that like her mother's really just ruining her life and just thinking that she lives like such a hard life and thinking that her mother's life is just perfect. But yeah, her mother does assure her that her life really isn't perfect, but they really just think that each other's lives are better than each other's. And then yeah, then like through like a certain incident that occurs, there's they magically switch bodies, and yeah, then they pretty much like have to go about each other's lives, but they have to really figure out how to really switch back to their own bodies, and then yeah, then it pretty much is like they like a lesson is learned at the end, and then yeah, then they reconcile, and yeah, everything is all good. Yeah, so the story overall it's pretty standard, but yeah, just seeing like Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis just like play off of each other like that, and just really just taking up each other's personality and everything. Yeah, it is like really funny, especially like seeing just Jamie Lee Curtis really just like pretty much mocking herself. Like, yeah, she was really like so awesome in the movie. Like, how she really just like with like Lindsay Lohan's character like in Jamie Lee Curtis's body. Like, it is really funny to see like just how he just really just seemed like a pretty like a boring person, and then like just in the dot with the daughter and the mother's body, she really does make her like so much cooler and everything. Yeah, it is like really awesome to see and stuff. So yeah, so the story really is overall pretty standard, but just like a lot of the jokes in the movie, like with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, that is really like what makes this movie, and it is like really funny to watch. And so yeah, so like I said, I really haven't really watched any of the other adaptations of this story done, but yeah, this one is definitely really good, and this one is probably looked at by a lot to really be the best one, because this one really was like very well received from critics. So yeah, so this one seemed to be like the best received out of all of them. So yeah, so really just that's because of just like how funny it is with like Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan and doing what they are doing in the movie. Yeah, I really do think that is really just like enough to really like give the movie a recommendation, because it just is just like really funny to see just the two of them really just acting like each other in the movie. So yeah, so that is really what makes this movie. Like I said, the story overall, like it is pretty standard. Like it is just really just how the mother and daughter really have to learn a lesson. But just yeah, the way the performances are done, and just like with a lot of the jokes that are used in the movie, yeah, that really is what makes it like so enjoyable and very funny. So yeah, so I guess I would probably give the movie like around like a 3.25 stars out of 4. All right, so yeah, so I could really just keep going on and on, really talking about just how funny Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are in the movie. But yeah, if I like continue to talk about that, I'll really just sound like a broken record. So yeah, so I guess I'll just talk about the premise of the movie now. All right. So as the movie starts off, it shows like the Coleman family are like a pretty dysfunctional family, especially with Anna, the daughter, and Tess, the mother. Yeah, it shows how yeah, Anna is kind of like around like 15 years old, and she's just kind of like going through that phase of a teenager of like being lazy and just wanting her own life and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, and she also like does also like kind of like get embarrassed by her mother at times as well. Yeah, yeah, and it shows that also that like Tess is just a couple of days away from marrying her fiance Ryan, and it's like showing how like Anna really is not like totally accepting of Ryan, because yeah, she still hasn't like recovered from the loss of her father 3 years before. So yeah, so it does go down that route again of the dead parent. Yeah, but it shows how like at school Anna just really is like really like tortured her there. How her English teacher, Mr. Bates, is like really not fair to her at all, and is constantly giving her an F regardless of how hard she tries. And it is later like revealed like why Mr. Bates really does treat Anna like that, which I will talk about out in a little while. Yeah, it also shows that like how a friend turned enemy of Anna, Stacy, is also like always like targeting her and going after her all the time, really just like always embarrassing her and everything. Yeah. And it also shows that like Anna does have like a crush on another school staff member, Jake. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Anna at school, and it also shows that like how her mother, Tess, is like a therapist, and she's like always like talking to people, including like this uh one guy, Evan, who's played by Willie Garson. You may know him from Sex in the City. Yeah. Yeah. And then so it shows like the lives that the two of them do live. Yeah. Yeah, and it also like does show that like Anna is also like a guitarist in a band with like some of her friends, known as they're named Pink Slip. Yeah, and it shows that like they're always like practicing their songs at in Anna's garage. Yeah, and at one point, like as they were like rehearsing in the garage, and I was like it got like so loud in the house that like a Tess just like cut the power off in the garage. Yeah, yeah. They like go through like all that stuff with like a Tess really not being very supportive of Anna. Yeah, and then like it's eventually like uh announced that Anna's band actually does have like an opportunity to audition for a gig at this place known as the Blue House, or the House of Blues. Yeah, but it's occurring on the same night of Tess's wedding rehearsal. So yeah, due to that, Tess just like didn't allow Anna to go. And that night, when they were like out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant, after Tess and Anna got into an argument about each other's lives, saying that like they each have a better life than one another and that their lives are just terrible. Yeah. Then the restaurant owner's mother then interrupted and gave each of them a fortune cookie. But then, when Anna then stormed off into a different room, then both Tess and Anna like read their fortunes out loud. And after they read it, then like just an earthquake then just started. But then like after it passed by, then when Anna and Tess just returned to their table, it just showed that like it seemed that nobody else in the restaurant like even experienced the earthquake. Yeah. Then when and Tessa and Anna woke up the next morning, they like saw that they had actually like were in like each other's bodies with Tessa in Anna's body and Anna in Tessa's body. And the reactions to it like were pretty funny. Like when Tess woke up in Anna's body, she just like saw that she was in Anna's room and just like saw that she like had Anna's hair and her nails and everything, just saying that they weren't hers. And then she felt like Anna's butt and was just like, that's definitely not mine. Yeah. And then when Anna then like realized that she was in Tessa's body, like I said, she just like couldn't believe it, just saying, I'm old and oh, I'm like the crypt keeper. That was pretty funny. Then then like when they like one way that they tried to really get it back to normal was they actually like tried to like run and jump into each other, but nothing happened. Yeah. Then then yeah, but then Tess and Anna's body then then went to school as Anna, while Anna in Tessa's body like went out to live Tessa's life. And yeah, it was pretty funny like how like there was at one point like when Ryan was asking Anna, who was in Tessa's body, of course, about like her younger brother Harry, who was like always like really just like annoying Anna. Like when Ryan asked about like where Harry's school was, or if they were going to take him to his school, yeah, she was just like, he can walk from here. So yeah, pretty much just like being like very like yeah, just getting back at him like that, just like really just was like abusing authority like that. So it was pretty funny. And then like when Ryan just like said he had no problem like driving Harry to school, she just like looked back at Harry and just stuck her tongue out at him. Yeah. Yeah. And then it showed like after Tess got like dropped off at work, it just showed how like she just like went out and really just like gave herself like a makeover to make her look like more hip and everything. Like she got like a different wardrobe, cut her hair, pierced her ears, just like all that stuff. Yeah. And then with Tess as Anna at her school. Then when she was in English class and she saw Mr. Bates, she then realized that Mr. Bates was actually an old high school classmate of hers, and and she had actually turned him down on a prom invitation that he gave her years ago, and so then due to the rejection, and Mr. Bates is now just picking on Anna for revenge and for her mother turning him down like that. But then, then after English class, Tess actually confronted Mr. Bates and just was telling him that she'll report him to the school board if he continues this kind of treatment. Yeah. Then eventually that afternoon, Tess and Anna then went to the Chinese restaurant, but then the owner explained to them that just the only way that they'll switch back to normal is as if they actually obey what the fortune told them, which was basically just to show selfless love for each other. Yeah, and then later on that day, as Anna in Tessa's body was attending a parent-teacher conference for Harry. Harry's teacher told her that Harry actually did write an essay about who he really admires the most, which actually was Anna. Yeah. And then after that, then of course Harry didn't know that Anna was in Tessa's body. Yeah, because the two of them said that they couldn't tell anybody about what that is going on, that they have to keep it a secret between them. So yeah, so nobody knew that they had switched bodies. Yeah. And after this, then that's when Anna decided to be nicer to Harry. Yeah, yeah. Then later on, at another point, Anna then Tess and Anna's body then tried to make amends with Stacy and be friends again. But then as Anna and Stacy and a lot of other students were taking a big test, Stacy ended up framing Anna for cheating, and then Anna got into detention, but Anna snuck out, and then Jake actually noticed Tess sneaking out as Anna. Yeah. Then he offered to help her finish her test, and then as Jake took her to the filing room in the teachers' lounge where the tests were kept so she could finish it. It showed that Anna as Tess was then brought onto a talk show to discuss her latest psychology book, and it was pretty funny because, of course, because it was Anna, not Tess, she hadn't actually hadn't read the book, so she had no idea what to really say about it. So then, instead of actually talking about the book on the talk show, all she really was doing was just going on a tirade about getting older and everything, and just really amusing the studio audience. Yeah, and it showed that Anna and Jake were watching it because it was in the teachers' lounge. That was what was being shown on the TV, and it showed that Tess, of course, because she was watching her own daughter pretty much make a fool out of her, was it's embarrassing. But Jake was actually very impressed by it. Yeah, but yeah, and I should also mention that after Tess as Anna finished the test, has Tess really, of course, was not supportive of Anna being with Jake, as or not Jake, rather. Well, yeah, it's Jake. I have no idea what I'm saying now. Yeah, his name is Jake. Yeah. Well, no. Why am I saying this? I've got no idea what I'm saying. Just a second. Let me contain myself for a minute. Okay, alright, I got it back together. Okay, yeah, it's Jake. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had no idea what was going on for a second. I just got a little bit jumbled up for a second. Alright, okay, getting back to this. Yeah. It showed that as Anna Tess as Anna was able to finish the test, she then was, as I said earlier, she wasn't very supportive of Anna Anna being interested in Jake. But then like after this, that was when she realized that she misjudged Jake. But after like uh Tess finished Anna's test, she actually did sabotage Stacy's test by actually like erasing a lot of the answers that she gave and just wrote "I'm stupid" on her test. Yeah, but then then later on, and like as Jake was getting ready to take off for his second job, and like that's when like he finally just like was telling um Anna that he just really feels that like she's like very different than who he really thought she was because of what she did to Stacy's test, and just like how she's really acting, and really just thinking that like taking like some advice that Tess had said to him earlier on in his body that she's too young for him. Yeah, so he just like seemed to like have no more or like enamoration for her. Yeah, but then then like Tess then like found Jake at his second job in a coffee shop, and then they started to talk, and they were like bonding over music and everything. But then then as Jake actually took um Tess home, who of course like was Anna, so of course like they did like have a better connection with each other, seeing how this really was Anna. Yeah, as he was like taking her home on his motorcycle, they were actually riding past Ryan, and Ryan actually did see Tess with another guy. Yeah, and then then that night as they were getting ready for the rehearsal dinner, then Ryan questioned Tess on it, and then of course like Anna, well yeah, this was like uh, Tess as Anna, then like just like said that the only reason that like she rode with him was just because uh, so Jake could really impress Tess, so that she would allow her to go out with him. Yeah. Then later on that night, as they were all at the rehearsal dinner, then Anna's bandmates then like just tried to convince her, who was still in Tess's body, yeah, we just sneak off to the audition, but they ended up getting caught. And then it showed the old also that like Jake had also come to the dinner as well, and he was still like trying to just talk to Tess, but yeah, Anna in Tess's body was just like trying to get him to stay away because of course the engagement with Ryan and everything. Yeah, but then then eventually when security caught Anna's bandmates trying to sneak her out. Yeah, then and like Ryan then just like spoke up and then just gave Anna permission to go to the audition. Yeah, and then he then just explained that he just wants the kids to accept him as their stepfather. And then just urged Tess to go support the band. And yeah, and so then then at the audition, like of course like because this wasn't Anna, this was Tess in his body. She just like couldn't play the guitar at all. But then then like Anna and Tess's body then just like uh got there as well, and then just like unplugged the guitar that Tess was holding, and it's just like Tess was like pretending to play the guitar, showed Anna off off stage actually like playing the guitars to make it really seem like she was really playing it on stage. And and then that really did like get Anna's band and the and the gig. Yeah, and then then after like Tess saw like just how much like Anna's music really meant to her, she then uh like supported Anna's band and treated them with more respect. Yeah. And then it just showed also how Jake was there as well watching the performance, and he was also like became interested in Anna again. Yeah. And then eventually Anna and Tess then arrived back at the rehearsal dinner, and then then and with them still in each other's bodies, then Tess just told Anna to just like postpone the wedding and just like propose a toast instead. And and as Tess was this was of course still Anna. Yeah, as Anna was like proposing the toast, making a speech, like pretty much like saying that she is really now accepting of Ryan because of how happy he makes her mom. Yeah, it then like now showed that like the selfless love was now like shown, and then then that like switched Anna and Tess back to their normal bodies. Yeah, and then then like Anna then like then spoke up in her own body, saying that she was now acceptive of Ryan and welcomed him to the family. Yeah. And then, yeah, then it just later on, like, cut to the wedding, showing Tess and Ryan marrying. And, yeah, it also showed how now Tess and Anna made up, and that Anna and Jake were now starting to date with Tess's approval. Yeah. But then, yeah, then during the wedding, it also showed that, like, Harry and the grandfather, Alan, were now starting to, have, like, a heated exchange. And and like, the Chinese restaurant owner's mother then tried to offer them fortune cookies also, but yeah, the owners saw it, and then yeah, she rushed and tackled them both to the ground and just like snatched the cookies back. Yeah, and then yeah, then the movie then cut to credits, but yeah, as the credits were rolling, it showed like Anna like playing a song with her band. So yeah, yeah, and that's how the movie ended. Yeah, so like I said, the story is like pretty standard. It is basically just like the mother and the daughter like really just like pretty much having to learn a lesson in the movie, and it gets them switched back. But yeah, just like just a lot of the jokes in the movie, and just like a lot of just how Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan like perform in the movie. That's really what makes it, because yeah, the stuff with them is just like really funny, especially like when they are taking on each other's personality. So yeah, so the story is pretty standard, but yeah, due to just like how funny Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are in the movie, I definitely do say that this film really is worth a watch. So yeah, if you haven't seen it before, really check it out. Like, give it a watch, because yeah, you'll really be in for some pretty good humor with like taking on each other's personality and stuff. So like I said, I give the film 3.25 stars out of 4. All right. So yeah. So I guess that's all I can really say about it. Yeah. So really just like not really like a whole like much to the story, but yeah. Yeah, the two lead performers are just really like so funny in the movie. So that's really what makes it. All right. Okay. So yeah, so I guess that's all I really have to say about the film. All right. So this is it from my review of Freaky Friday. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.